awake. You feign unconsciousness, but I felt the change in your heartbeat. I feel your pulse as if it were my own, quickening as you take in your circumstances. I'd warn you not to struggle, but I'd rather not waste my breath. As expected, feel free to wear yourself out. The sooner you do, the sooner we can get on with this. You're not going anywhere. You might not be as attuned to our connection as I am, but you'll learn that you cannot escape me. You can try to run or fight, but you can't hide from me. Not forever. I'm impressed. You're coming to terms with this rather quickly. Unable to move, speak, or see. You understand that all you can do right now is listen. And I can tell that you're listening. You flinch ever so slightly at the sound of my voice. There was a time I would have loved to see that. But that was lifetimes ago. Far too many, in fact. Your fear, once sweet, long ago turned bitter when I realized it wasn't truly from me. It isn't my voice that inspires the anxiety that races through your veins. Because you don't know who I am, do you? Show me. Shake your head. Prove to me what I already know. You don't recognize my voice. I didn't think so. I don't know why I bother. I can't help but go through the motions, even knowing things will never be any different. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's your modern definition of insanity, isn't it? I'd be offended if it wasn't true. Not that it matters. I'm gonna take off the blindfold. The lights are dim enough that your eyes should adjust quickly. All you have to do is look at me, at my face, and into my eyes. Do not look away. You understand me? Nod. Good. Well, nothing. I shouldn't be surprised, and I'm not really, but still stings to see that I've never managed to leave a lasting impression. After all, I always know you, despite your different faces. Each face supposedly unique, however, the same expressions make them all blur together. I've watched tears carve themselves down a dozen different versions of your cheeks, seen confusion etch a line between any number of brows, and witnessed terror that colors your eyes, regardless of their natural hue. That said, this you almost feels different. Perhaps it is only my motivated perception. Am I so eager to change the narrative that I'm willing to paint over reality itself? Not that it matters. Everything will be different this time. I'm going to make sure of it. I don't know whether I can convey the weight of the situation with mere words, but I have no better alternative. I suggest you listen closely, because I am going to tell you our story, and when it's over, I'll make you an offer. You look almost curious. I admit I find that interesting. Not something I'm used to seeing from you. But to answer that questioning look, yes, I did say our story. Countless retellings, but they always end the same. However, for now, I want to focus on the beginning. I know this will be difficult to take in. I want you to listen, but I also want you to understand. I will explain everything, but I know you'll have questions. If I remove your gag, are you going to make me regret it? Ugh, so desperate. I know I shouldn't hold it against you, and yet, seeing you shake your head so emphatically, it's hard to equate this pathetic version of you with the one I remember. But then, you always were weak, even if it was in different ways. It almost makes me pity you. Regardless, if you choose to make a nuisance of yourself, I will leave you down here, alone and in the dark. I assure you that I am the only one who will hear you, and I have no interest in standing around for a tantrum. Once, I relished your screams, but your pain no longer holds any particular value to me. I have heard you beg and cry, and I promise none of it will sway me. Better? Good. No, no. No questions yet. I know you're confused, but I need you to listen first. I often wonder, is it a curse or a gift to live without this? You never have to bear the weight of your former sins, but you also forfeit any warning of what is to come. Your ignorance leaves you unaware of the hunt, prey too innocent to know better than to stare down the predator. Feels wrong to call you innocent, but it's petty to continue blaming you. You were only ever a pawn. Yes, a pawn. With all their might and powers, the gods needn't play these games, but I'm sure they revel in the drama. Crafting their champions of children and molding monsters of men. Whether fate chose us deliberately or it was random chance, we were caught up in their theatrics. And despite our shared misfortune in that you cannot understand the imbalance of our roles, Yes, I know you far more intimately than anyone else ever could. Yet you do not know me, and you never have. My life has been yours from the moment I was born. All for some prophecy that never came to be. I know how insignificant you are in this world, in this time, so it may surprise you. But in our first life together, you were a monarch, a ruler, powerful, strong, and loved by your people, but feared by all others. You worshipped the gods of tempest and night, making pacts with them that brought your kingdom prosperity and riches, but at costs that never should have been paid. Bloody sacrifices and twisted rituals. Things that even I, in spite of my growing numbness, hesitate to recall. You may feel that you would never do such a thing. And of course, you wouldn't. Not in this life. In truth, you likely see our roles as reversed. After all, if either of us were the villain, surely it would be me. But regardless, for all dark there must be a light. And what story can be told without a hero? Born under the most auspicious signs, favored by the gods, and given the title, I was raised to defeat the evil that plagued the land. Raised to defeat you. And it was all for nothing. Because you died. Simply, stupidly. A supposed accident. It should not have happened that way. You did not deserve something so quick, so clean, so easy. And I did not deserve to have everything ripped away alongside you. You cannot understand this, but everything was for you. I had no friends, no family, only mentors and ministry. After all, I had been raised up for that singular duty. They promised that I was chosen, blessed with a divine purpose, and it was one that could not afford mortal distractions. And righteous honor or not, it was all-consuming. I was never allowed rest. Every day, every hour, every moment of my life was devoted to you. And then it was over. Everything I had worked for, everything I had trained for, all snatched away, and I was rendered useless. I had nothing outside of you. I was no one without you. You were everything to me, and you never even knew my name. I was left alone to wander. I was so lost. A ship set adrift on a sea of sand, rowing with all my might, but only sinking, slowly burying myself for all my efforts. You plagued my every waking moment and even still gave me no respite at night, visiting in my dreams, close enough to taunt me, but consistently out of reach. Your voice was a constant whisper accompanying the breeze. Your laugh the echo of a crowd, never truly there, but all the same impossible to escape. You, or rather, your absence, it was driving me mad. I couldn't go on. And so, I cursed the gods for taking your life when it should have been mine to claim. I cried out to them, I begged for the opportunity to prove myself. I swore to kill you 1,000 times over if given the chance. It was a foolish thing to do, but I was little more than a foolish child, grown in many ways, but stunted in far more important ones. I was short-sighted, hot-headed, and after such a betrayal, I did not believe that the gods would hear me, let alone honor my request. And so, you are reborn innocently, with no memories of me, our past, or our connection. But I cannot die until my pact is fulfilled. 1,000 deaths, 1,000 lives. Our connection is a constant tether, dragging me towards you wherever you are on this godforsaken planet. Here, so close to you, every molecule in my body is screaming at me to put an end to it. It would be overwhelming if it wasn't so soothing to finally feel something real. But you see, even now, my whole existence revolves around yours with no hint of reciprocity. And this quest is meaningless. You have never been the monster I was forged to slay. First time I found you, I thought, well, the fear in your eyes was so visceral that for a moment I believed you recognized me. But no, it was only the dawning realization that your life was soon to be forfeit. The desperation that comes with being forced to confront your mortality. The same desperation that I see in you now. Even caught off guard, you put up a good fight, and I thank you for that. But the victory was nevertheless all too hollow. Because it is pointless to avenge that history. I've taken the time to watch you. I've searched for any trace of the villain I once knew, but there is nothing. No shadows, no echoes, no semblance of the demon you once were. You're only human. I've seen your modern mistakes, but your ancient crimes were ones that this incarnation of you could never commit. And as much as I resent you, as much as I hate you, I cannot continue punishing you. My body is as strong as the day I made my vow, but my soul has aged beyond recognition. Lost among an infinite chorus of whimpered and long-forgotten prayers, I shredded my voice, screamed myself into silence more times than I can count. There was a part of me that still believed I was special. I was theirs, wholly and completely. I listened, I obeyed, did everything they ever asked of me without question. And so I thought, if I cried loudly enough, if I pleaded long enough, of all their followers, their children, wouldn't they hear me? Wouldn't they answer me? No, it has all been for naught. Because I have always been nothing. Nothing to them, nothing to you. Perhaps they're like you and have forgotten me. Or maybe they just never cared. More likely, you and I only entertained them in passing. I can't help but think it was all some sadistic show. You and I starring as their lifeless puppets. Wooden dolls painted in bright colors to be nothing more than beautiful toys. We were led by golden chains disguised as jewelry. Limbs posed to dance and lips carved to tell their story. I cannot go on like this. It's time we opened our eyes, see past the blinding spotlights in the stage and abandon their script. You needn't be the villain. And I was never a hero. It's time to end the scene. Not like that. There's no need to panic. Haven't you been listening? It would be futile to just kill you. I told you, I am here to make you a deal. I need you. With every passing day, I fear that I will forget you. That I won't feel our connection the next time you're reborn. And if I lose you again, what will become of me? Because in the millennia that have followed my foolish bargain, do you know how many times I've found you? No. Neither do I. Not anymore. Somewhere along the way, I lost count. It sounds so detached to say it like that, so cold, but I can't help the numbness. At first, it was easy. My passion almost had a life of its own. A raging inferno that left no room for darkness or uncertainty. But that was when I believed there was a purpose to all this. And even those vibrant memories are growing vague. You don't understand. And of course you don't. You don't know what it's like. You don't understand that it's so simple when I find you. You can't sense it, but I can. When you're here with me, I can feel you like this. I know it's you. But when you're gone, it's become all too easy to question everything. There is a microsecond of pure silence after your death. The most fleeting taste of freedom before I feel your pull anew. But that starts off so small, so indistinct, and I can't help the questions that flood my mind. I have lost the fire that banished the fog and kept my doubts at bay, so in that tiny moment of vulnerability, they come crashing back in. What if I've had it all wrong? What if it wasn't you? Had I been deluding myself all this time? I feel disconnected, like nothing more than an observer, watching as pieces of my sanity slip through my fingers like sand while I desperately try to keep hold. Doesn't matter how tightly I clench my fists. No, if anything, my mind has fractured further from the strain of considering the possibilities. Possibilities upon possibilities. Oh yes, beyond the path I'm forced to walk, I have pondered many alternatives. The ice that clouds my mind whispers that there is but one escape. That the way out is to burn it all down. To craft this world into a perfect final pyre for the two of us. It would be fitting. We could lie together in wait for death's consoling embrace, like one of your unholy sacrifices of old. And yet, I hesitate. While I reason that the gods would be satisfied with something so cruel and poetic, I cannot guarantee such a calamity would end their little show. After all, I cannot predict the creativity of a depraved celestial mind. But where would you be reborn if there was no one left to bear you? Destruction is one of humanity's greatest talents. Their days have always been numbered. It would be rather simple to aid them in their inexorable march towards extinction. Still, would the gods leave me to haunt a desolated wasteland of my own making? Or would my actions inspire something incomprehensibly worse? I don't know the bounds of their callous ruthlessness, but every day that I'm forced to swallow it, I'm encouraged to test the limits. Perhaps, if given such an ultimatum, they would have no choice but to stop me. You can try to mask your horror, but I see through you. It's odd. You seem surprised that I would consider such things, and I only ask, how could I not? As I said, I cannot blame you for not being able to comprehend the magnitude of all this. And yet, again, everything comes back to you. Even as my very essence recoils at the idea, a strange part of me finds comfort in thinking of you. You are my only hope. my only reprieve from this madness, the only real thing. You are all that persists in this fleeting, ever-changing world. You and I. So what does anything else matter? I have spent so long by myself, consumed by my twisted loyalty, but I never thought to ask it in return. And so we come to my offer. You've been more patient than I expected. Perhaps your fear has kept you paralyzed, or perhaps a part of you can feel the truth in my words through our bond. Either way, I have spent enough time on explanations. Now, I want an answer. Only an answer. No arguments, no pleas. Do you understand? I want to give you a choice. Work with me this time. Help me find a way to break this curse. Or what? Oh, perhaps this version of you is different. I never would have expected boldness, especially given the circumstances. But to answer your question, I should think that's rather obvious. Join me, or I'll slit your throat. Right here, right now. And simply pray that your next incarnation is more cooperative. Perhaps the gods would grant me that small boon. I have nothing to lose but time, and it will be lost either way. As all things until spent have no value. The years are worthless to me. You, on the other hand, the stakes are far higher for you. Not just in this life, but each one following. Help me find a way out, or I will drag you through this hell with me. Either way, you will die at the end of every lifetime, but should you refuse me, I will make that death slow. I promise you that. When I find you, I will tear you apart piece by piece. I will break you in every way I know how. I will carve pain so deep that your very soul will bear the scars. Maybe then you will finally remember me. So, what do you say?